Hello, everybody. I'm Ethan Cordes, back with our first metric-specific video about the StatSport tracking system. This week, I'm going to talk about total distance. So, firstly, what is total distance? Right, the name is very self-explanatory here. It's the total amount of distance that you cover. We measure it in yards, so the number that's on your PDF, the sheet, the file that I send out, right, that number is in yards. So it's not just some arbitrary number. So total distance is really a key or a base for other data points, right? If you look on that image in the bottom right, recall back to your time in math class when you talk about slope, right? On our graph, we have speed over time. So where that big arrow is pointing down, that's a higher slope than at other points, right? That is reflective of an acceleration or of a sprint, right? So that is how total distance is used to measure those other metrics. The image in the top right is like a cool nifty trick you can do, so that's just an image of all the movements that a player did, right? But again, you can't take a lot of practical information from that aside from like what positions did the player take up during the session. So how is it applicable in soccer? Well, like I was just saying, it can be misleading, right? Because it measures everything that you do. It measures the walking, it measures the jogging. Those movements aren't as likely to affect a drill or a game as your more explosive movements like sprinting or like accelerating. And so because of that, some teams don't even report out this total distance, right? They just use it to measure those other things like sprinting, like accelerations. And then your positional variability can have some effect on this, right? If you play center mid, you're going up and down and side to side, right? So your total distance will just naturally be a little bit higher. Whereas if you play center back, you go up and down to a certain extent, and again, you go side to side to a certain extent. So some positions will have higher total distance than others, right? But things that are going to be a more accurate reflection of movements that impacted the game are going to be things like sprints, like accelerations, like explosive distance. Whereas total distance by itself can be misleading. That's all I got for you guys this week, and I'll send out another video next week about the next stat.